Hello James Bond 007 fans. This film is the final story of megastar James Bond. The story begins with a flashback of Madeline's life as a child. At that time he lived in a remote house. His mother, Mr. White's father, rarely comes home. On that day, when Madeline checked the health of her drunken mother, suddenly he saw a masked man approaching his house. Madeline tried to tell her mother, but because she was so drunk, her mother didn't pay attention to Madeline. When the man managed to enter her house, Madeline was afraid and immediately hid. The masked man then said that he was Lyapsifer Safin. He came to avenge the death of all his family by Madeline's father. After killing Madeline's mother, Safin then looked for Madeline's whereabouts. While in her hiding place, Madeline finds a weapon, and when Safin headed towards him, Madeline immediately shot Safin. Safin immediately collapsed and fell under the house. Madeline immediately dragged Safin's body out of the house. Safin suddenly got up. Apparently Safin was not dead. Madeline immediately ran away, but she fell into the sea, which had already frozen. I don't know why at that time Safin took the initiative to save Madeline. The story returns to the present. Madeline is married and lives happily with James Bond. Currently they're enjoying a holiday somewhere in Italy. They stay at a hotel. And there will definitely be adult fights at night. It wouldn't be James Bond if there wasn't this scene. In the morning, James Bond said goodbye, visiting the grave of his ex-girlfriend Vesper Lynn, who died in the film Casino Royale. Arrived there suddenly. Luckily Bond survived the explosion. Then Bond rushes to the hotel, but on the way Bond is confronted by Spectre members. James Bond is surrounded from all directions. It wouldn't be 007 if he couldn't escape this obstacle. Someone from the Spectre members said that Madeline was part of the Spectre, because Mr. White, the Madeline's father, is their leader. Then after arriving at the hotel, Bond was a little curious about Madeline. Madeline, who doesn't know anything, is sad to see Bond suspect her. To investigate the truth of this case, finally, Bond decides to part ways with Madeline. Bond immediately takes Madeline to the station. But on the way, another group of Spectres attack them. And James Bond also acts. Finally they were able to escape from the siege of a group claiming to be from Spectre. When we arrived at the station, a very touching farewell drama occurred. Admin wants to cry, but this is the reality, they have to separate. Long story short, 5 years later, the Spectre group is breaking into a laboratory where professors are making biological weapons whose effects can infect targets through touch and will activate on specified DNA. They blew up this laboratory building. The explosion at the laboratory where this biological weapon was being developed became the center of public attention. The higher-ups argued that from previous experience, only 007 could solve this case. Meanwhile, on an island, James Bond is enjoying his retirement. Visited by an old friend named Felix, a CIA agent. Felix told what happened in the laboratory, and he wants Bond to help him solve this case. Because this has something to do with Spectre, Bond is willing to help Felix. As usual, while on duty, Bond always meets beautiful street inspectors or field agents.